So we're going to start lying down. So wherever you are in your space, start to make yourself comfortable lying down, ideally on your back, and just make any little movements that you need to make. And you might want to bring your feet underneath your hips with your knees bent, or you might want to just lie down flat on your back. And once you are laying down on your back, just start to feel into the parts of your body that are in contact with the ground. So start with the feet or the backs of the legs, and just notice that contact. Feel into whatever sensations are there. And allow some softness in that part of the body. So allow a sense of landing and arriving and settling of the lower half of your body onto the ground. And bringing the attention up to the back of the hips and the pelvis. And again, just allowing a sense of weightiness in that part of the body. See if you can really melt down and yield into the ground underneath you. So we're really consciously arriving in the space, and doing that by starting to feel the edges of the body as they're contacting the ground. Feeling into the back of the shoulders and the backs of the arms. Really getting a sense of releasing again down into the ground. And then the back of the head and the neck. And when you're tuning into that area of the body and feeling it sink down, see if you can also soften the forehead and create some space in between the teeth at the back of the mouth, allowing the jaw to be soft. And then option to bring the hands onto the low belly and start to breathe deeply all the way down into the low belly. As you exhale, maybe you want to exhale out through your mouth. Just get a sense of the body landing even more into the space that you find yourself in. And then we'll take a few breaths where we take a really deep inhale and pause at the top of the inhale, just feeling that sense of fullness of the breath. And then exhale all of the way out and subtly draw the low belly in towards the spine, and then pause at the end of the exhale, feeling the breath out. So you might want to go at your own speed or with my count. So breathing in, and then holding the breath in, and breathing out, drawing the low belly in, and holding the breath out. Again, breathing in, and holding the breath in, breathing out, and surrendering the body down to the ground and holding the breath out. And one more like that, breathing in, and holding the breath in, and then breathing out, and holding the breath out. Good, and then extend your left leg out to straight on the mat and bring your right knee over your hip with the leg bent. And then start to, without bringing your hands onto your leg, just take some circles with that right hip. So you're trying to make the circles as big as possible. So you're circling all the way around in a kind of horizontal plane. with that right knee. And then just be conscious that both of the sides of the sacrum, both of the sitting bones stay down on the ground. So the low back stays grounded with this. And then take your circles the opposite way with that right leg. And deep, deep breathing all the way down to that right hip. And then pause, bringing the right knee above the right hip. Bring the left hand onto the front of the left hip and keep that left hip grounded. And then the right hand comes onto the right knee and you start to draw that right knee open towards the right hand side. Take an inhale here, breathing all the way down into the front of that right hip. And exhale to soften the muscles at the top of the thigh, the base of the hip. Inhale, draw the right knee back to center. And then taking a twist, bring the left hand to the right knee and draw that right knee over towards the left. Release the right arm out alongside of the body. Inhale, breathe all the way down into the bottom right side of your back. And then exhale, soften the jaw and soften the forehead. Come back to center and then straighten that right leg. So the right heel is drawing up towards the ceiling. And then bring the hands onto the back of the thigh and start to draw those right toes in towards your face. Start to draw the thigh in towards the body. And you probably reach a sticking point where you've got a stretch somewhere in the hamstring. So maybe don't go all the way to the point of intense stretch. Maybe just pause a little bit before you get to that. And take a deep breath all the way down into that right hamstring. And exhale, soften the hamstring, soften the shoulders. And spread the toes, drawing them a little bit closer to the face. And then release that right leg down. Same thing on the other side. Bring the left knee up over the left hip and start to take some circles with that left knee around your left hip. Keeping both sides of the low back grounded as much as you can. And then circling the other way. Allowing the deep breath to fill down into the left hip as you're taking this movement. Coming to stillness, bringing the right hand to the front of the right hip, the left hand onto the left knee, and start to draw that left leg out towards the side. The knee remains bent and the knee is in line with the hip. Inhale, breathe all the way down into the left hip. And then exhale, soften the left hip muscles. Soften the top of the thigh. Inhale, draw the left knee in towards the center. And then take it over into a twist, bringing the left knee over to the right. The left arm out. And finding the point that you can feel a stretch here. Inviting your deep breath into that space. And exhaling to soften, allowing the body to really land into the ground. Inhale, draw the leg back to center and then extend the left heel up towards the ceiling. The hands come to the back of the thigh. The shoulders stay soft away from the ears. If it's really intense, then just keep a bend in the knee. Otherwise, you can see if you can feel for reaching up through the left heel and drawing the left toes in towards the face. Again, pick where you want to go with your practice. Pick where you want to go with your stretch. Do you want to be really intense or do you want to just back off a little bit? Invite the breath into the space that you feel the stretch. And then exhale, soften the hamstring. Maybe draw it a little bit closer towards the body. And then release the left leg down. And bend the right knee, so both of the knees are up towards the ceiling and the feet are hips width distance apart. Take an inhale into the sides of the ribs And exhale, just hover your hips off the ground. And then sway the hips a little bit side to side, maybe just shaking the legs a little bit. So really getting a sense of kind of releasing the tension around the low back and the hips. And then bringing the base of the back down to the mat and bring the knees up over the hips. We'll take some ab exercises. The shins are parallel to the ceiling or slightly lower than the knees, and the shoulders stay soft away from the ears. Bring the right hand onto the right thigh. Take an inhale and spread the sides of the ribs. And exhale, push the right hand into the right thigh, the thigh into the hand. Draw the low belly down, draw the low back down. Inhale, release. And exhale, push the right hand into thigh, thigh into hand. Push the low back down, draw the low ribs in. One more on this side, inhale. And exhale, push the right hand into the thigh into the hand. Push the low back down and draw the low belly in. And then switching to the left side. Take an inhale, spread the sides of the ribs. Exhale, push the left hand into the left thigh into the hand. Push the low back down and draw the low belly down. And again, inhale, breathing really deeply, releasing the belly muscles. Exhale, push the left hand into thigh into the hand. Push the low back down and draw the low belly down. And one more like this. Inhaling. Exhale, push left thigh to hand, hand to thigh. Push the low back down, draw the low ribs in and pull the low belly down. Good. And then release your feet down. Take a deep feeling breath into your belly and grab your block or your cushion and place it in between your thighs. If you don't have one, don't worry. So you want to bring the block or the cushion in between the thighs at the base of the thighs. And then bring your knees back up over your hips with the shins parallel to the ceiling. Clasp the hands behind the back of the head and send the elbows straight up into the air. Inhale, spread the sides of the ribs. Hold the breath. Push the low back down, curl the tailbone, squeeze the block. Exhale, lift the elbows towards the knees and draw the low belly down. Inhale, come half the way down. Hold the breath, push the low back down, curl the tailbone, squeeze the block. Exhale, lift the elbows towards the knees and draw the low belly down. Inhale, come half the way down. Hold the breath. Push the low back down, curl the tailbone, squeeze your sitting bones, squeeze the block. Exhale, lift the elbows towards the knees and draw the belly down. One more like this. Inhale. Hold the breath, push the low back down, curl the tailbone, squeeze the block. Exhale, lift the elbows, draw the low belly down. And then inhale, release the head, release the feet, release the block. Bring the hands onto the belly and take another couple of deep feeling breaths down into your belly. Starting to tune into this center in your body. And then we're just going to do a couple more abs. Bring your knees back up over your hips and then let the knees drop wide into a frog position. So the knees remain bent. The shins are parallel to the ceiling. The hands are clasped behind the back of the head. Inhale into the sides of the ribs. And exhale, lift the elbows forwards, curl the pubic bone in towards the belly button, reach out through the knees. Inhale, relax the pelvis down and straighten the right leg. Exhale, lift the elbows forwards, curl the pubic bone in, pull the belly down. Inhale, relax the pelvis down, bend the right knee and straighten the left leg. Exhale, lift the elbows forwards, curl the pubic bone in, pull the belly down. Inhale, last one, bend the left knee. Option to stay here or to straighten out both legs into a straddle. And exhale, curl the pubic bone in towards the belly button, lift the elbows, Pull the low belly down. And then bend the knees, bring the hands either side of the thighs, draw the thighs together, and bring the feet down onto the mat. We'll come straight up into a bridge pose, so it's your choice. You can either use the block to support you underneath your sacrum, or do this without a block. Everyone inhale, spread the sides of the ribs and plant the feet in the mat. And then exhale, curl the hips up towards the ceiling, coming into your bridge pose. Take another inhale here and expand the space between the ribs and the hips all the way down the front of the body. And exhale, root down through the inner arches of your feet. So activating the inseam of your leg. Option to stay here or to root down through the left foot. Take an inhale, draw the right knee in towards the chest. And exhale, send that right leg straight up towards the ceiling. Reach away through the heel of the right foot and keep pushing down with that inseam of that left foot. So you're using the strength in the left leg to lift that right heel up. Release the right foot down. Take an inhale, draw the left knee in towards the chest. And exhale, straighten the left leg. Reach away through your left heel. And maybe you just notice that one side is different to the other, which is wonderful and celebrated. Take another inhale here. And exhale, release the left foot down. Everybody take an inhale at the top in your bridge pose. And exhale, curl the upper, then the middle, then the lower part of the back, all the way down towards the ground. And hug the knees in towards the chest. Take a few rolls from side to side. And breathe into the back of the body. And then start to rock yourself forwards and backwards along the length of the spine. And eventually come up into a seated position. And either just sitting in cross-legged, or you can come onto your knees. If you want to stretch the underside of your feet, you can tuck your toes under and sit back onto your heels. We are going to be here for a few breaths, so choose a position that's going to be helpful for you. And then we'll take a few shoulder shrugs. So inhale, breathe into the upper back. Lift the shoulders up and back. And exhale, squeeze the shoulder blades together and draw them down the back. Inhale, breathe into the upper back. Lift the shoulders up and back. Exhale, squeeze the shoulder blades together. Just use the shoulders to draw the shoulder blades down the back. Inhale, breathe into the upper back. Lift the shoulders up and back. Last one, squeeze the shoulder blades together and draw them down. Good. And then bring your elbows in alongside of your waist with your palms facing up towards the ceiling for bird wing. Inhale, breathe into the sides of the ribs so you can feel the ribs expanding into the upper arms. And exhale, squeeze the elbows in towards the waist. And then send the thumbs wide, squeezing the shoulder blades together. 2 more like that. Inhale, draw the fingertips together. Exhale, squeeze the elbows in towards the waist. Draw the shoulder blades back and down, open across the front of the chest. Inhale, drawing the fingers together. And then exhale, opening the fingers wide. Good. And then releasing the hands and just wiggling out your jaw if the jaw started to switch on. And then come forward and prep for dolphin. So bring the forearms down onto the mat. Measure the distance between the elbows by holding around the upper arms and either clasp the hands or bring the palms down flat. Everybody relax the back of the head and the back of the neck. Take an inhale and spread the shoulder blades. And then exhale, squeeze the elbows in towards each other. See if you can switch on those same muscles that you were just using and send the sitting bones back. Option to stay here or to tuck your toes under and lift your hips up into the air. And see how much weight you can draw away from your forearms into your feet. And the answer might be not a lot today. Now see if you can tune the attention to the breath. So where is the breath? Where can I feel the breath in my body? Option to lift the right leg up into the air. And as you exhale here, reach away through the ball of the right foot. Really push through the forearms and the wrists, wrapping the shoulders. Releasing the right foot down. Inhale, reach the left leg up into the air. And exhale, reach away through the ball of the left foot. Push through the entire length of the forearms. Bring the left foot down. Bring the knees down and release back into a child's pose with the hands coming out in front of you. Take a deep feeling breath all the way down into the low belly and the low back. And as you exhale, allow the hips to settle a little bit. Take an inhale and come forward onto the hands and the knees. Exhale, bend the elbows alongside of the waist, coming into a half chaturanga. Inhale, straightening the arms. And exhale, sit back into a child's pose. 2 more like that. Inhale, coming onto the hands and the knees. Exhale, bending the elbows, half chaturanga. Draw the belly in. Exhale, straighten the arms. Exhale, child's pose. Inhale, tabletop. Exhale, half chaturanga. Inhale, straighten the arms. And exhale, child's pose. And then inhale, come up into a tabletop and take some gentle circles around the wrists. Spreading the fingers wide. Breathing really deeply. Taking your circles the other way. Good, and then tuck the toes under and lift the hips up into a downward facing dog. Take an inhale through the nose and an exhale out through the mouth. Softening the back of the head and the back of the neck. And feeling a long line from your fingertips all the way up to the sitting bones. So bending the knees if you need to feel that length in the back body. And inhaling, filling the back body with your breath. And exhale again, soften the forehead, send the sitting bones up and back. And then walk your feet forwards. So you're in a shorter downward facing dog, and then bring your feet wide so they're at the edges of the mat. We'll take a twist here. Keep the weight into the left hand and then bring the right hand onto the left thigh or calf or ankle. And start to look underneath your left armpit. Inhale, breathe into the space in between the shoulder blades. And exhale, twist a little bit deeper. Option here, if you'd like a balance, is to try and float your right leg up towards the ceiling. You might need to look down at the floor to do that. And falling over is really welcome. Bring the right foot down. Bring the right hand down and then switch over to the other side. So the left hand comes to the outer edge of the right leg and start to look underneath your right armpit. Option to stay here or to try and float the left leg up into the air. Keeping the breath deep wherever you are. And then releasing the left foot down, walking the feet forwards and coming into a standing forward fold at the top of the mat. Putting a soft bend in the knees and really relaxing through the back of the head and the back of the neck. And just let the arms hang down wherever they hang. And invite some breath deep down into your low back. Soften the forehead, soften the jaw. And then bring the right hand forwards of your feet, in between your feet, and bend the right knee. Take an inhale and reach the left arm up into the air for a twist. Inhale, breathe into the sides of the ribs. And exhale, soften the right shoulder away from your right ear. Switching sides, bending the left knee, straightening the right leg, bringing the left fingertips down, and reaching the right arm up into the air. Again, inhale, spread the upper back with the breath. And exhale, soften the left shoulder away from the left ear. And then release the right hand down, draw the belly in, and slowly roll yourself up to standing. And when you get there, just take some really gentle circles with your hips. Feeling some fluidity in the movement in the hips. And then circling the hips the other way. And then come to standing, bringing your hips over your ankles and then drawing the crown of the head back. So the crown of the head is over the sacrum. Bringing the hands together in front of the chest and closing the eyes. Taking a couple of deep, feeling breaths into the space around your heart. And tuning in with what it is that your body needs from this practice this evening. Now you've started to move it. Maybe you need to go slow or back off. Maybe you need to fire up the legs and the muscles. And whatever you find to be true for you, seeing if you can just practice allowing yourself to have the space to use this time as you have carved out for you to the best intention that it's going to serve for your body. Take a breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. Good, open the eyes. Inhale, reach the arms up into the air. And exhale, fold forwards, draw the belly in. Inhale, bring the hands to the shins, half lift. Exhale, step back into a plank pose. You can always bring your knees down in your plank. Take an inhale and spread the shoulder blades. And then exhale, lengthen the tailbone and draw the low belly in. Everybody drop the knees down, hug the elbows in alongside of the waist and lower all the way down to the belly. Push the tops of the feet into the mat, bring the hands forward to the shoulders and take an inhale into your cobra, drawing the upper ribs forwards through the gateway of the arms. And then exhale, lengthen the heart forwards and down, push back into downward facing dog. Take a few breaths here, really feeling into the back of the body. Again, where can you notice the breath? Inhale, bend the knees, look forwards. Exhale, step or jump top of the mat, standing forward fold. Inhale, reach the arms up into the air. And exhale, draw the hands back to heart center. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, fold forwards, draw the belly in. Inhale, half lift. This time, exhale, step the left foot back and bring the left knee down. Inhale, push through your right foot and reach the arms up into the air. And exhale, curl the pubic bone in towards the belly button, turning on the sitting bone of your left thigh, the left buttock. Take another inhale here, spread the sides of the ribs. And exhale, plank position, lowering yourself down towards the ground. Take one inhale in the back bend, draw the shoulder blades down and the heart forwards. And exhale to downward facing dog. Take one inhale here. And exhale, step the left foot forwards, bring the right knee down. Inhale, reach the arms up into the air. Exhale, push through your left foot and your right shin and draw the pubic bone in. Inhale, expand the sides of the ribs again. Exhale, standing forward fold at the top of the mat. Soften the neck. Inhale, reach the arms up into the air. Exhale, draw the hands to heart center. One more, inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, fold forwards, draw the belly in. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, left foot back, left knee down. Keep the toes tucked under this time. Inhale, push through the right foot and reach the fingertips up. Option with your exhale to hover the left knee, trying to keep your hips really low, reaching away through your left heel and forwards through your right shin. Take another inhale, expand the sides of the ribs. Exhale into a plank position, lowering yourself down with the same exhale. Inhale, draw the upper ribs forwards. And exhale, downward facing dog. One inhale here. And exhale, left foot forwards, right knee down, so toes stay tucked under. Inhale, reach the arms up into the air. Exhale, option to hover that right knee, reach away through the right heel, but keep the hips low. Take one more inhale here, reaching through the right heel and forwards through the left shin. Exhale, standing forward fold, top of the mat. Inhale, reach the arms up into the air. And exhale, bring the hands back to heart center. And then take a breath here, soften the feet again into the mat. Feel the crown of the head drawing back over the sacrum. Tuning in again to what's real for you and what's real for the breath. Opening the eyes, putting a bend in the knees, using an inhale to come up into a chair pose. And then exhale, bring the arms into a cactus position in your chair pose. Take an inhale and squeeze the shoulder blades together. And then exhale, round the back, draw the elbows in, draw the low belly in. Inhale, open the chest, draw the shoulder blades together. Exhale, round the back, squeeze the elbows in, draw the low belly in. Take a couple more breaths like that. See how fluid you can make that movement in the back of the body. And stay with your knees bent if you can. Good. With the next exhale, standing forward fold at the top of the mat. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, step or jump back, lowering yourself down towards the ground. Inhale, coming up into your back bend. And exhale, drawing the shoulder blades down, lengthening the heart forwards and down, and pushing back up into a downward facing dog. Again, taking a big deep inhale through the nose. And as you exhale, make like a horse breath. So sending the breath through the lips and just shaking the head a little bit. I love that noise. Inhale, lift the right leg up into the air, bend the right knee and open the right hip. Exhale, step the right foot forwards for warrior two. And then let the arms come down alongside of the body and just check your legs. So you're spreading the toes of the back foot and you're really feeling for pushing down with both of your feet and then drawing the front thigh forwards and the back thigh back. Bring the elbows back in alongside of the waist for bird wing. Inhale, breathe into the sides of the ribs. And then exhale, squeeze the shoulder blades together. Send the thumbs wide. Inhale, draw the fingertips together. Maybe deepen the bend in the front knee. Exhale, squeeze the shoulder blades together. Send the thumbs wide. One more like that. Inhale, bring the fingertips together. And then exhale, drawing them apart. And then coming into eagle arms, bringing your right elbow underneath your left. And maybe you just hold onto your shoulders here, or bringing the backs of the forearms together. Maybe the palms come together. Wherever you are, see if you can find a way to rest your forehead. Rest the back of the neck. So maybe you can just allow the head to be soft against the arms. And you're still strong in your legs, creating space in your upper back with your breath, and relaxed in your neck. Good, unraveling the arms and bringing the right forearm onto the right thigh. We're coming into extended side angle. See if you can traction your right thigh muscle towards your right knee. So you kind of push your forearm down and then roll the thigh muscle away. So it's like you're creating space in your right hip joint. Take a deep breath into that right hip joint. And then exhale, reach the left arm up over the head, coming into extended side angle. So even though you're bending towards the right, you've still got some space all the way down the right side of the ribs. Again, inhale into that right hip. And exhale, reach through the back foot and reach through the left fingertips. Good. Come back up to center. And then to transition to the second side, we're just going to start to bend and straighten the legs, moving a little bit from side to side. And this might be enough to get you a stretch down the inseam of the leg. You might want to come a little bit lower down. You might be able to keep the chest up, or you might want to bring the fingertips down towards the ground as you walk from side to side. Good, and then we're going to pause with a stretch in our left groin. So maybe the fingertips are down, or maybe you're up. Maybe you're all the way onto your tiptoes and sitting on your right heel. Just taking a couple of breaths there. Good, and then switching over to the other side, bending the left knee, straightening out the right leg. spreading the toes of your right foot. And then coming back up to center and switching over into a warrior two with the left knee bent and the right leg straight. Bringing the arms out alongside of the body, parallel to the ground, and putting a soft bend in the elbows for kite hawk. Inhale, draw the shoulder blades back, open through the chest. And exhale, roll the shoulders forwards, draw the chin in. Inhale, moving from the shoulders as you roll the shoulders back. Exhale, rolling the shoulders forwards, draw the chin in, draw the low belly in. Again, inhale, open the chest, push down through your feet. And exhale, coming forwards. Take one more breath. And then bring the left elbow under the right elbow for eagle arms. Again, as much as you can, pushing through the feet. Using the inhale to spread the space in between the shoulder blades. And then exhale, relax the neck, the forehead and the jaw. Soften the shoulders away from the ears, even though the elbows are kind of squeezing towards each other. And then release the arms, bring the left forearm onto the left thigh, again tractioning that left thigh muscle towards the left knee and reaching the right arm up and over. Taking an inhale all the way down to that left hip. And exhale, send the thigh muscle forwards, reach the fingertips of the right hand forwards. And then inhale, push into your right foot. And exhale, soften the jaw and the forehead. And then come back up to center. Coming into a goddess pose, so bring your heels in and your toes out. And bring the hands to the base of the thighs. The same idea is, again, we're like tractioning our thigh muscles towards our knees, creating more space in our hips. Taking an inhale down into your pelvis. And then exhale, bring the left shoulder in towards the midline. Start to push that left thigh muscle towards the left knee. Inhale, come back to center. And exhale, bring the right shoulder in towards the midline. Push the right thigh muscle towards the right knee. One more on each side. Inhale to the center. And exhale towards the left, or left shoulder to the center. Inhale, come back to center. And exhale, bring the right shoulder to center. Good. Inhale, straighten your legs. Bring the hands either side of the right foot. Step back into a plank position and either come straight into downward facing dog or through at vinyasa. Take an inhale through the nose and an exhale out through the mouth. Inhale, lift the right leg up into the air. Exhale, step the right foot forwards for a high lunge, reaching the arms up. Inhale, hover the back knee, the left knee off the mat. And exhale, straighten that left leg, reaching away through the left heel. Inhale, hover the right knee, left knee. Exhale, straighten the left leg. Inhale, hover the left knee. Keeping the hips low, exhale, straighten the left leg. And then we'll come into standing split. So bringing the fingertips down in front of your right foot and lifting the left leg up into the air. So having as much of a bend in that right knee as you need. And if you want your hands on a block, if that makes it more accessible, going ahead and doing that. And then wrapping the elbows in. So you're switching on the upper back. And getting a sense of breathing in and pushing down through your right foot. And as you exhale, lift the left toes up towards the ceiling. Good, and then release that left leg back down and bring the left knee down. We'll take a twist here. Bring the right hand to the base of the right thigh. Take an inhale and reach the left arm up. And then exhale, twist, bringing the left upper arm over the right thigh. Either a fist in the left hand with the right hand on top, or the palms come together. And inhale, breathe into the sides of the ribs. And exhale, soften the jaw, soften the shoulders away from the ears. Start to turn the center of your chest towards your hands. Good, and then release the hands down and step back into a downward facing dog. Maybe shaking the legs out a little bit. Inhale, reach the left leg up into the air. And exhale, step the left foot forward, stay on the toes of the right foot. And reach the arms up. And then see if you, again, can keep nice and low in your hips, but don't kind of twist open towards the right. You want the front points of the hips facing forwards, and you're reaching away through your right heel and forwards through your left shin. Inhale, hover the right knee. And exhale, straighten the right leg. 2 more, inhale to hover. And exhale, squeeze the right buttock as you straighten the right leg. 1 more. And then standing splits, bringing the bringing the hands down in front of the left foot and lifting the right leg up into the air. Inhale, spreading the breath through the upper back. Then exhale, push down through your left foot and then lift up through your right foot. Release the right knee down, taking a twist, bringing the left hand onto the left thigh. Inhale to reach the right arm up, and then exhale to twist. Filling the sides of the ribs with the breath. And then release the hands down at the top of the mat and step the right foot forwards and slowly roll up to standing. So we'll take a tree pose before we wind down to the ground. Start by transferring your weight into your left foot, and the right foot can either come to the inside of the ankle with the toes on the floor, or onto the calf, or it can come onto the inside of the thigh. Just don't put it directly over the knee joint. The hands can be in front of the chest, or if you'd like to, you can reach them up into the air. Feel the breath spreading the upper back. And with the exhale, draw that right thigh muscle away from your right hip, reaching away through the right knee. Good, and then releasing, switching sides, shaking the leg out a little bit. And see if you can get a sense of kind of gluing the inner thigh to the foot or the calf to the foot. So your right hip isn't kind of sinking out to the right, drawing in towards the midline. And then bringing the arms wherever feels good for the arms to be. Option to close your eyes. Notice what happens to your breath and your balance. Good, release the arms, release the legs, and just shake the legs out a little bit. And then bring your feet, so we're going to come down into a squat. So the heels are in, the toes are out. Inhale to reach the arms up. And exhale to sink yourself down just to half of the way. Take an inhale, push through the heels, reach the arms up. Exhale, sink down a little bit deeper. And one more, inhale, push through the heels, reach the arms up. Exhale, coming all the way down into your squat. Maybe coming onto your tiptoes if the back's rounded when the heels are down. And just letting the eyes close here for a couple of breaths. And feeling the breath deep down into the low belly, just like we did at the start of the class. Feeling that softness of the breath as it reaches deep down into the belly. Good, and then releasing yourself down, coming into Baddha Konasana, bringing the soles of the feet together. The hands come behind the back and the knees reach away from the hips. And see if you can kind of open the toes like you're opening a book. So the pinky toe edges of the feet are stuck together. And again, just taking a few deep breaths down into the pelvis here. Good, and then drawing the knees together and sending the feet wide. We're coming into a straddle. So maybe your knees are bent. Maybe you're sitting up on something to keep your back nice and straight. Or maybe your feet can be reaching away from you and the backs of the knees are kind of pressing down towards the ground. Just notice, first of all, where you are. Notice what you can feel. Use your hands behind you like a prop to take some of the stress out of it. And then if you'd like to, you can fold forwards. See how long you can keep your back and see how externally rotated you can keep your hips. So you're still creating space in your hip joints, even though you're coming into a deeper stretch. And feel free to close your eyes here. We're going to take about 8 breaths. So you can be sat up, you can be leaning forwards. I'd like you to soften the back of the head and the back of the neck, so the sense of surrender. But you still want your toes to be active, and so you're filling your inhale all the way down into your hips. And then with your exhale, if there's bits of your hips that are holding on, just inviting them to let you release them a little bit, as much as feels comfortable for you. And then gently bringing yourself back up into a seated position, bringing the hands underneath the knees and drawing the thighs together. And bring the legs straight out in front of you. And then bend your right knee. Bring the sole of the right foot to the outside of the left knee. And shuffle forwards on your sitting bones, holding onto the shin, lifting the chest up. And then we'll take a twist, so using the left arm to cradle the right thigh and bringing the right hand out behind you. And inhale, breathing into the sides of your ribs. And exhale, draw the low belly in and start to open that right shoulder towards the back of the mat, the back of the body. And then releasing, coming back to center and switching over the legs. Again, sitting forwards on your sitting bones and lifting the chest up. And then cradling the left thigh with the arm, drawing the left hand out behind you. See if you can bring the breath all the way up into the collarbones. And with the exhale, drawing the belly in. Drawing the low ribs in. And keeping the crown of the head proudly back over the sacrum, so not kind of slouching forwards with the neck. Good. And then coming back to center, releasing both of the legs, giving the legs a little bit of a shake. And giving the jaw a little bit of a shake and the head a little bit of a shake. And then bringing the arms out alongside of the shoulders, plugging the shoulders into the sockets, drawing the low belly in, and we're coming down onto our back. So curling the low back down, the mid back down, the upper back down, all the way down. And then bend your left knee in. Take an inhale down into your left hip, holding onto the front of the left shin. And exhale, hug the left knee in towards the chest. Reach away through the ball of the right foot. And then we're going to extend that left leg up towards the ceiling and hold on to the back of the left hamstring again, or the calf if that feels really accessible for you. And again, inviting the breath deeply down into or towards that left hamstring. With the exhale, maybe it's the shoulders that soften, maybe it's the hamstring that softens, maybe it's the forehead that softens. And then bend the left knee, we'll take a twist, drawing that left knee over towards the right and reaching the left arm out alongside of the body. Breathing deeply down into your left hip. And exhale, softening the left shoulder and softening both of the hips. Good. Coming back to center and straightening the left leg out, giving it a little bit of a shake and hugging the right knee in. Taking an inhale, breathing down into the right hip. And exhale, hug the right shin in towards the body. Reach away through the ball of the left foot. And then taking a couple more breaths in your hamstring stretch. Maybe they feel the same as the start of the class or different to the start of the class. Not making any judgments. Just taking this practice of noticing what's present in this moment, in this hamstring, in this breath. And then bending that right knee and drawing the right knee over towards the left side and reaching the right arm out alongside of the body. If you want to take that right arm up over your head, that can be a nicer stretch. Depends on your shoulders, really. Inhaling, breathing all the way into the right side of your ribs and your lower back. And exhaling, sinking again down into the mat underneath you. And then drawing yourself back to center. Plugging both of the knees in towards the chest just to release the low back a little bit. Maybe moving the low back around. And then either bringing your feet wide on the mat with the knees dropped in towards the middle, or bringing the soles of the feet together and letting the knees drop wide for Supta Baddha Konasana. Option to bring one hand over your low belly and one hand over your heart. And let your elbows and your shoulders relax here. Now invite your breath deeply down into the low belly. Your hips and your pelvis. Bringing your breath into your heart space. Seeing how much space you can create around the heart. Whether you can feel the physical heart or not. Whether you can feel the energetic heart or not. Just making space. And then using a couple of breaths just to connect the whole of the belly, the pelvis and the heart to each other. So simultaneously really using your inhale to fill up, make space. Really using the softness and the release of the exhale to let the body go. We'll move into Shavasana from here. So taking any other movements that you'd like to make, or taking a blanket if you'd like a blanket, a pair of socks. And then finding yourself lying down on your mat. And let your toes come out wide, so the toes are off the edges of the mat, allowing the hips to be soft and open. And tuck the tailbone under, lengthen the low back. Shuffle the shoulders away from the ears. And just like we did at the start of the class, if you can scan through the parts of the body that are connected to the ground and really get a sense of weightedness and yielding of the body into the mat. Into exactly how it is in this moment. And releasing the conscious control over the breath and allowing yourself as much as is possible or you feel comfortable with to soften in your space, in the spaces that you've created with this breath in this body. And really letting go into the ground. And gently starting to deepen the breath. Maybe making some little movements with your fingers and your toes. Maybe taking a stretch, reaching the arms up over the head. And then hugging the knees in towards the chest, giving yourself a squeeze. Like a proper hug. And then roll over to one side. Let the weight of the body sink down into the ground. Again. And then gently bring yourself back up into a comfortable seat. Bring the hands together in front of the heart space and lengthen through the back of the neck and lower your gaze. Feeling into and breathing into that spaciousness again around the front, the sides and the back of the heart. Knowing that that's the space that you created and you can create whenever you need it. We'll close the practice with the sound of an Om together. A deep breath in. Thank you all for the privilege of sharing your practice. Namaste. Thanks, everyone. As always, if you want to stay and say hello or ask a question, then please do. Otherwise, have a wonderful week and look after yourselves.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Alice.
You
Thank you, Alice.